Yo, it's Jaream, and this is the breakdown. Bando is the death and burial of Reem and the resurrection of Jaream. A lot of people took that as like a dark song, or like a dark, thing, but it's really a blessing, just talks about the power of freeing yourself and being yourself, just being the truest version of yourself. So I disappeared, but I'm back again. Most of my core fans know that, like, as Reem Raw, I had this notorious thing of this tendency to disappear. Like, I would drop and start buzzing, like what most people would capitalize off of, I would just do and then disappear. But I'm back with scars and back with sins. It's a different return because I'm definitely different and I have scars from these sins that I've been doing. And you'll learn all about them. Like, you'll learn all about the stuff that I've gotten into as the season goes on. The questioning who I am and where I've been and who I've been. So the question of who I am now, and the question of where did I go, and the question, who was I? Like, who were you? If that wasn't you, then who were you then? But I had to die again. And when I say I had to die again, it's a very strong, it's a powerful statement to me because I believe that everyone dies. I feel like we all live multiple lives on our time on earth, just because you're not the same person who you were yesterday. You're not the same person who you were last year. And if you are, then you're not growing, you're not evolving, you gotta grow, you gotta transform. Some people just call it evolving. I like to call it death or rebirth, but it's up to you. It's all about your perception. It's been a while since I did this for me. Still got that halo, but look, I'm a beast. I done performed in my dreams and my nightmares so much that I thought I was meek. I wasn't doing music for me for the longest time. I was always doing stuff, since like my earliest memory was always like God and religion and church and trying to be a leader in that aspect. It's been a while since I ever just did stuff for the core purpose of this makes me happy. I still got that halo, but look, I'm a beast. It's the divinity, it's the duality, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of tapping into I guess the darker sides of my personality and realizing like these pieces were always here, but were here for my benefit. They were here to protect me. Had I utilized these things, maybe the past wouldn't have happened the way it did. So just learning to tap into all facets of who I am. My nightmares so much that I thought I was meek. Dreams and nightmares to me, I'm from Philly. So I performed in those dreams. Like, I've done I've been in dream type scenarios, and it turns out to be a nightmare because you're still not happy afterwards, and you realize this isn't really what I want to do or how I want to do it. And that's when it becomes a nightmare because you're trapped. And I swore it was me. It was Raw C, and we was repping the king. We was packing our shows. We was saving them souls. We was doing our thing. Group fell apart, but I went hard. Took church more serious. Got more involved. Had them young rebels with me. It was all love. Preached on you Sunday. It's all good. I had them yelling. I'm Dylan. I'm rocking them damners. Walking in churches and wilding like I ain't have manners. Some people love us and others just ain't understand us. I built, and then I just vanished. That entire thing kind of just gives you the storyline of why I left. I started out in a group. I was part of a rap group called Raw C, whatever it was called. We were actually pretty relevant in the tri-state area. And it kind of just fell apart. Like, everyone kind of just grew up. I was the youngest, so everyone kind of just grew up with dealing with life things. And then I really heavily got into church. I was following my dad's footsteps. It was deep too. It was a lovely time. I don't look back on any of those moments and condemn them at all. I still talk to my little brothers and sisters every day for the most part. I had them yelling Young Dylan and rocking them Dennis. Although Reem Raw wasn't necessarily welcomed, he was very powerful, in the sense of the wave, the influence. We were literally walking to churches with bandanas on and wilding out, turning up and just doing what felt needed to be done. I got kicked out of a lot of places. I was told I couldn't perform in places. I was told I was booked for shows and if you wear a bandana, you can't do it. And so either you were on board with Reem Raw or you hated him. You either hated him, you either hated or loved it. You either hated or loved it or you're afraid of it. It was one of the three. So I built, I was building and then I just disappeared. I vanished. I had to have a lot of conversations with my dad. I was in a lost place. My dad was my pastor, and we struggled with that relationship as far as complications. But toward the end, it was really the more I walked away from it, the more I had a better relationship with my dad, for whatever reason that was. during that whole span of like these last couple of years, I was in love. And when I say like I got lost, it wasn't a bad thing. It was a beautiful thing. Like I feel like getting lost is like the key, the spice of life. Get lost, learn, figure some stuff out, experience. I got to a point where I was doing Tuesdays, and I think every song that I had like put out like was getting put on Rapzilla, which is like the equivalent of like Christian hip hop world star. Like it's Christian hip hop world star. You made it. Like your song made it. You get on Rapzilla, and I just stopped caring about it because I realized number one, it wasn't what I was interested in doing. Number two, there was nothing there. It was just a weird feeling. And I was falling out of love with Christian hip hop, and I stepped away from preaching because real talk, I ain't in kid to heal him. That might be the best bar on this song, because that was like the most honest I could be in that moment. It's like you know what I mean? Like I needed to take care of me. I was finally the priority. I was becoming the priority for the first time in 26 years. So got in bad business with a pessimistic, narcissistic, egotistic, had me twisted. This is where it gets interesting. This is where we get into the nitty gritty. So I got involved with a guy who was supposedly a friend of someone that I trusted. And it was a very, very stressful relationship. I compromised way too much. I gave away a lot of like creative freedom, trying to adapt, because I was falling out of love with this shit. So this jackass was just such like, I can't even get into like how manipulative this person was, but it had me twisted. It twisted me up. Like it was like this person was also a man of the cloth. The deeper I got into it, not to say the stuff he was saying was like wrong biblically, but for me, it just no longer resonated. So, and you wonder why it's so specific. I want to cash money way more than triple digits. This guy was supposedly the plug to the cash, supposed Grammy Award winning. Yeah, we knew that was bullshit off the rip, but supposed to be money connected to it, so we stayed involved. Then apocalyptic, so twisted that I left the missus. My head was so fucked up with like biblical things and personal issues and fame. I was shooting in the dark and I missed it, and I fucked up. Broke our heart in 1,000 pieces. Drunk 1,000 bottles. I had 1,000 reasons. Me and God, we just wasn't speaking. Couldn't pray, I just couldn't believe him. So I was trying to research. I was trying to build up faith, let it rework. I was trying. Broke our heart. Broke our relationship. Broke me mentally, spiritually, even further, creatively. All types of things. Like that was a very difficult thing because I like not even just on like that was your girl type situation, but just on that was somebody who trusted you, that was a friend. Like I don't look at just relationships as far as like romantic shit. Like fuck all that. Like I love you for you. Like you care about me, we friends, it's us, you know what I mean? So like for me, like to betray that trust was also like a betrayal of myself. And that's when I really realized like you fucked up. Like you're not, like you're fucked up as an individual now because you're not even you. And that was the beginning of like, who are you? And that's kind of how we started to get here. At this point, I'm like, God, fuck what you talking about, to be honest. And this is not even on no prideful shit. Because me and God had that conversation of like, I don't like you. Like, God, I don't like you. Like, I don't like you. I don't like what you stand for. I don't like your practices. I don't like the way you let the world go. Like, you know what I mean? So we had to have that honest conversation. And I just made a decision, like, we're not talking now. Like, I'm wrecked out. I started doing a lot of research, looking into, like, the etymology of words and, like, the foundational implement into scripture as far as, like, the things that were implemented in, the things that were taken out, which started to deteriorate the faith even further or just change the faith even further, should I say. But I found things I ain't like, kind of shit keep you up all night. Yeah, that wave had my heart on ice. Or you niggas wanna know what my life like? I was finding things that I did not like. And that was sending me on a darker road. So as you guys can see, like the dominoes are just... Go ahead, you can look behind the curtain. Hands full but deserted. I tried to live a life that was perfect. Still never felt worth it. This is me like saying like, look behind the curtain. Like I've shown you me. So deserted, you know what I mean? Like I used to do this song called Drowning. So when people used to be like, oh my God, like how are you? You know, like why are you so removed now? Like I was telling y'all niggas what the fuck was going on. Like I never lied to y'all. Like I never felt as if anything I did was ever good enough. It was always on to the next. I just never felt worth it. I never felt like affirmed or validated. And I realized that now, like, a lot of that had to do with me. That was all internal things. Crib so big, but the Bando Love don't live here. It abandoned us. Niggas don't try, never ran on us. So no, my God, can imagine. No. Most of my friends who would come over my house would always be like, oh my God, your house is so big. It's so nice. It's so spacious. You got so much room for activities. On some Step Brothers type time. And for me, it just always felt empty. Like, I can remember some of the earliest moments of my life, like crying in that house, like alone after my mom passed, because like no one's home. Like everyone's, like everyone's busy, everyone's gone, everyone's occupied. The crib is nice, but like it's our house is not a home. You know what I mean? Without love, and a lot of times, that house wasn't capable of loving. And I'm just very sensitive to like atmospheres and stuff. So I always felt like love was just something that just didn't exist in that house. It just wasn't the most loving environment. Not necessarily toxic, just no love. Like, although there wasn't a lot of love, the only thing that we could do was protect each other. So you might hear me talk mad trash about my brothers, but don't talk about my brothers. You know what I mean? Like, we can say shit to each other, we can say stuff about each other, but no one else. It's like one of those type of things. And this even applies to my sister as well. Like, it's just, even my dad, like, don't try this. Like, you can talk, but don't. What was you doing? That was our love language, was being protective of each other. So that's what I know how to do. So nobody ever tried this. I can't even imagine that, because I feel like that's the only way we know how to express love. So we'll probably kill somebody just because like, this is the only way. I can't hug you. I can't tell you I love you. You know what I mean? But like, I can put a nigga in the dirt for you. Need be.
Crib so big, but the band love don't live here. The band on us. Niggas don't try, never ran on us. So no.